Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar of Smart Helio. So we are very excited today to be all together and discuss this topic of how at Smart Helio we are using AI and LLM models to speed up due diligence processes in solar PV plants. So for those of you who do not know me yet, I am Maxine. I am part of the founding team of Smart Helio, and I am also heading the partnerships here. So let's start with a meme. So I think that this meme is actually very relevant to our topic of AI. Personally, I'm very excited of AI because I truly believe that this is a very powerful tool. However, it has to be understood and it also has to be a bit controlled so like that it doesn't go out of hand. Now, while we're waiting for others to join, I just wanted to remind a few house rules, very typical in the webinar, so I'm sure that you're already very familiar with them. If you have any questions or you would like to have any additional information, please feel free to use the Q&A tab at any time throughout the session. We will actually have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar where we will be able to address a few of the questions. If anything goes wrong at your end throughout the session, please refresh your browser and try to rejoin. And in case you are interested in knowing more about us and of our solution, we already have shared in the chat a link so you can directly reach out to us. Now, what is today's agenda? So first, we're going to discuss what are the typical challenges in the due diligence processes in solar PV plants and how AI technologies could actually solve them. We are also going to discuss the typical integration that at Smart Helio we're following in order to address data privacy topics. And of course, the most exciting would actually be a live demo of our Solar GPT tool, where we're actually going to show some real-world case studies. But before we start, allow me to remind you what we do at Smart Helio. So we are a company based in Switzerland, US, and India, who has developed software that is able to identify and predict failures in solar plants. Our aim is to prevent downtime so like that we can not only increase the performance of the solar plants, but also reduce drastically operational costs. Currently, we have more than 6 gigawatts under management that we are helping more than 100 clients to manage. We have 30 team members who are all very driven and passionate across the world. And for the past 5 years, since our creation, we have won more than 20 international awards. And now I'm very excited to welcome on stage our speakers. So one would be our CEO and founder, Govinda, and followed by Shankaransh, our COO and co-founder. Govinda and Shankaransh, floor is yours.
Thank you, Maxine. Hi, everyone. I'm Govinda, and it's a great pleasure to be here again. Thanks to all the people joining from Asia to US. I know in Asia it's at night time, but really appreciate. I hope you get something out of this webinar. And I'm very excited to have Shankransh also here to share his experience on what kind of challenges people have while having due diligence. Yeah, Shankransh, welcome.
Hey, thank you, Govinda. Thank you, Maxine. And thanks everyone who has joined for this webinar. I'm very excited to what we are going to explore in this webinar. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. So before we jump into this, I would like to know from where people are joining, what is their expectations of this. So can we have a quick poll on who you are? Let's start. We'll have a poll now. Excellent. Looks like we have some glitches here. Here we go. So what type of company you represent? So we have IPP, EPC, O&M, investors, advisory, software, and others. It will just take 30 seconds. Okay, we are getting some good results here. Oh, wow. Come on, we are almost there. Yes, thank you, thank you. Great, great. Okay, that's good. So we're gonna end and share the results already. So here we go. We have quite a good mix of everyone. Definitely, a lot of technology and software providers are here, but we have a good mix of investors, advisory firms, O&M, and IPP and EPC. Good. That's great. Okay. And let's also try to understand that what kind of challenges people have while having this kind of due diligence. So let's have another poll on that. So when you are doing due diligence on solar plant, what kind of issues you face? Let's see some poll to come. Here we go. So what are the common challenges you have on the due diligence side? Excellent. And just to let you know that we have been conducting our own industry research, where we have talked to like hundreds of colleagues like you and me to really know about the challenges. And that's where the whole topic will also go, that how AI can cater to these challenges at this stage today or maybe tomorrow, or what is the limitation of such things. We go, let's move. Great. I'm gonna. So here are the results. Like we can have mix of all the items here very well, but definitely like one standout is data quality here. That 60% of people said that data quality and standardization is a big problem. Well, other problems are also pretty high here, but there's another one came challenges in identifying mitigation hidden risk. This is great. This is good to know on that. So Shankransh, so on your side, like when you talk to customers, like what are the challenges you see from the customer side?
Govinda, overall, I see acquiring a plant like buying a used car, right? When I'm buying a used car, I need to make sure what's the current health of the plant. I need to be sure of what's going to come. Do I need to replace the tires after 1 year? Do I need to replace the transmission oil after 6 months? And based on these, technical due diligence, I need to make a financial conclusion for myself. Yeah. So I see a very similar approach in the solar PV industry. But then I'm very happy with the poll results because these are the kind of challenges that we see. The first challenge is the data itself, right? There are multiple teams within an organization. They have different kinds of data. There are data quality issues. They are missing data. There's unavailable data mapping. So collating all that data together to start making sense of the data, that's step zero, and that's a very cumbersome process to start with. Now, another part of due diligence is typically we involve a third party investigator or consultant to do a site visit and understand the health of your plant, do a technical analysis of the health of the equipments, what are the issues that exist within the plant. And this can take sometimes up to 2 weeks, right? Typically, it's like eight to 10 days. And then comes the biggest problem. Now you have all the technical data from different teams and in different formats. Now you need to collate all of them and put your financials on top of it, and then make a conclusion. Make a revenue or ROI driven conclusion out of it. And this is extremely cumbersome because multiple stakeholders are involved, from procurement, engineering, asset management, and investment side, finance, you name it, right? So to put all of that data together to come to a conclusion, sometimes it takes up to months, trust me. And so if I have to highlight three, these are the top three challenges that I see.
Definitely, and I think thanks for sharing this. What I see that from the life cycle of the due diligence, from starting to what kind of data I have, what kind of data I have to collect, then process all sets of those data, you get some results, and then again, what are the conclusions out of those results? And still, you need to alignment with different stakeholders. And I could see that quite a painful process and dependency of a lot of manual effort goes, even if we bring some automation. So you're quite right. Definitely. So great. I feel like to solve these things, I will definitely think that now in the era of chat GPTs and LLMs, they should be able to help us at this point. Yeah. So
as long as we are able to process the data faster and just correlate multiple data, and generate some insights, it's always helpful.
Yeah. So let me just talk about that, how data integration can help LLMs in a secure way, because I know that while having conversation, you did mention about this data issue where a lot of clients talk about it, and that's one of the biggest thing. All the big companies we are talking to, they have this, that okay, great, we can use these LLMs, but what about my data? How it can be done. So let me just explain a bit more on how at Smart Helio, what is our thought process? I can say that it's not yet perfect. We are working hard, but what is our thought process on developing this secure data integration with LLM? So let me go with a very basic way that how these large language model works actually. You start with top, you have input prompt. You say that, okay, king is, okay, let's say it's the prompt. And then now we have to know that what is king is strong, is great, is hungry, what is going on that one. And that's where that LLM comes and when it start understand the context. But at the same time, it goes to RAG. So RAG or Canon document, let's say, I'll just simplify it. It's kind of a models. These are the algorithms or models which start going to your domain knowledge. So right now, our domain knowledge is solar and energy. Domain knowledge could be HR. Domain knowledge could be financial world, banks. Domain knowledge could be total marketing. So it goes to domain knowledge, and it will understand what prompt I have asked. So for example, if I'm asking solar has PR something, so it knows it's about solar, it's about the PR. It will go to a domain knowledge, start extracting those different answers, which is more closer to that. And then again, it give it to this LLM model here. What LLM will do, it will just take those answers and best fit with your prompt and give you action. Now, the issue is here that when you have your domain knowledge, it comes out. And if it doesn't find anything, it will start going to the global world here. And that's where it's important that to restrict those LLMs not to go and start searching in their global world, which is whole internet, but really sticking to your domain knowledge. Creating that kind of boundaries throughout LLM is very, very important here. So let me explain how we have implemented at Smart Helio here. So it's about Smart Helio ecosystem. So of course, everyone knows about our autopilot. It has a basic job that to detect and predict faults in solar plant. So we give some bunch of inputs and it will generate some results. Now, how we are using those results to really power much more powerful insights from LLMs. So we have prompt. It will go to the context extractor. It's again this kind of RAG and all these models I speak about. That requires engineering. that, hey, you understood the prompt now, go to different databases now. So what Smart Helio does, that it creates a lot of databases for different results. The beauty is you can also attach different databases, because still the Smart Helio is a very technical tool, the engine. You want to correlate with maybe climate, financials, any other else. You can just create those databases. And that's where these queries will go and start extracting those information. And then it will correlate it and provide answer. In this way, what we have made sure that these LLMs have to stick to the context what we are talking about. It cannot go outside the world and start taking out anything. Like, for example, if I say plant is healthy, our LLM will understand it's about solar plant. It's not going to say that plant is like any plant and say, oh, start putting fertilizers and water, like that doesn't work on that. So you have to really limit the context here, and you have to it's all about fine tuning and engineering in this case.
And I think Govinda, that's a very important point. Like for me, a year back when I was like, okay, why we are doing these things when we have LLM models available? And for me, being a mechanical engineer, knowing nothing about these kind of engineering, I thought, okay, let's just throw some LLM models into the software and it will start telling us different insights. And then I learned about these RAG and KNN, which I still don't understand completely. But what I understood was that the prompt, between the prompt and the LLM model, there's this engineering, that connects the dots, where to look for data, how to make connections between different data sets. And that's extremely important, before it becomes very important as to what you're feeding into your LLM models. Yeah. So that engineering is extremely important, of which I didn't know. And that's where we took at least the maximum time.
Exactly. No, this is absolutely this is the right case. But I will love to know more about like what are your challenges and all in this. But let's jump into the real case. What do you think? And we try to see make an attempt at least that the questions your client asks or how you are using it also at Smart Helio.
Right. And Govinda, just for the audience, like right now, what this tool is doing, it has access to all of our, multiple databases, from the metadata to all the fault results and predictions, to some commercials, what are the cost of interventions and cost of different equipments and everything. And we'll see if it gives us the answers that we are looking for.
Great. So here is the quick demonstration, but also I would like that to continue our conversation on what are the real challenges when customer comes to you, and how that I know that right now it's not available to all the customers that I know from my side, but I know that your team has been extensively using this tool to generate excellent results. So I would love to have that kind of moments where you can really share your thought process and also limitation of this thing. So can we start with one of the most common thing what you get to ask these guys?
I think the first thing always is, give me an overview of the plant. Yeah. I mean, maybe I can type the question in the chat and you can take it. But let's say, since we're talking about due diligence processes, people often ask, just give us a due diligence summary, right? Sometimes it's a very vague question, but I don't know, let's ask that to the GPT and see what it says. Yeah. So what I'll be expecting is to get like a helicopter view of plant.
So let me just see here. And what I know is, okay, let's see what it tells me now. So prompt has been done. It's fetching now all the analysis. It start giving you the plant specifications. That's great. It's giving some kind of it's stuck on that. Oh, wow. It just sometimes it goes crazy on giving answers. Yeah.
Govinda, like, I mean, since it's our database, I know that right now starting from the metadata to some of the fault root causes. It has already communicated with multiple databases, and for us to give the same information to our client, it will take days to just collate all of this data if we were to write a code for it. Yeah. So it's giving some equipment failures and root causes. It's also quantifying the losses, which is great. So this helps me understand the technical health of the plant. What else is it doing? Number 4 is quite interesting. It's climate change impact. So that's futuristic. That's a little bit looking into the future and predicting how the climate would be, and based on that, how the plant would be reporting. And this to me is, relates back to the car thing that I was saying, that when do I need to change my tires? So it's giving me some insights into the future. That's good. It's tracker losses. It does some price comparison of PV technologies.
Yeah, that's right. Like it also takes some comparison and talks about like what could help. But yeah, it's interesting. Like it just did some good conclusion. Do you want to check another one? What kind of other things you ask after this? Yeah.
I mean, next thing I would be, I have equipments and they have warranties. So I'll be curious to know what are the different upgrades probably that I need to do here. So again, Govind, I've put a question in your
thank
chat.
you. I'm just saving some couple of seconds now. And I'm such a bad with my typing. So this could, and it talks about some of the upgrades for you. That's excellent.
So, but it's asking to upgrade the inverters. Okay. What else? PV module, I would expect that. Okay. One interesting thing in PV modules, Govinda, that I did not expect is also recommending an upgrade with some bifacial modules. That's interesting.
But Shankraj, I think I can tell you already that at Smart Helio, we have a team where we keep looking into what are the new technologies available coming now. And I know that we have this technology database where we have all these available new or exciting technologies available, where sometimes the clients ask. So I think it's accessing that database and also trying to tell that what technology is best fitted right now.
Yeah.
So this is also great that it does pick up those values from here.
No, that's interesting, because that definitely wasn't the context of my question, but it's doing the job right. It also, but this site doesn't have batteries.
No, I don't think so. Like it's just giving that. But look here, significant curtailment losses. It's already. So again, the context is very important here, right? Look, what specific equipment upgrades are recommended? We didn't say that don't take new one or don't take old one and all. It just took equipment and it just understood that I need to upgrade it, and it start just putting everything possible what can help to improve the plant. What can improve it?
For me to also kind of like make sense of these suggestions is because what I see is there's something going on in the plant, and based on that, it's making certain suggestions for upgrade, right? So I think it will be just pertinent to also ask the distribution of losses that it currently has. Yeah, let me quickly post that because it's asking to change the inverters, it's asking to put batteries.
Okay. Let me just thank Shankraj for this again. Let's see the pie chart distribution of the losses. So I think that will also help us to know that why it gave that kind of recommendation here, right? And this is the typical way. I also believe that customer will also, that's great recommendation, but from where this is coming from. Yeah. But also I wonder, like loss distribution, I know that Autopilot already generates these things. So why would you ask such a heavy duty AI for that? You can just pull in from Autopilot this information. Oh, wow. It has a lot of categories.
If I log into our Autopilot, I can probably get these pie charts and waterfalls and everything. But Govinda, right now, what's important for me is it's not just the technical information. Yeah. Autopilot is a technical software. It tells the issues and quantifies them and everything. Here, I'm thinking from a context of acquiring a plant, for example, right? So I'm also thinking from a financial point of view. So based on the existing losses, which information I can get from autopilot, but then it suggested me certain upgrades. The moment it comes to upgrades, a bell rings. It's going to cost me money. Is it going to be covered under warranty, or I need to pay out of pocket? So this tool just becomes kind of like a central avenue for me to ask technical, financial, all these kind of questions together.
I got it. Like what you were saying on the third point, when we have technical and financial folks talking together, it's different stakeholders.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very difficult. They are talking in two different languages, and then how do you make sense of it? And right. I also believe that such tools can help to bridge the gap. So right now you have some technical information, you have some financial information, they're all being coming from some kind of databases where we have fed in the value. And now it's able to correlate at one place here. So no, this is an excellent point. And why it also makes sense that such tools can also can just have correlation based on different aspects, different stakeholders into the due diligence right now. And definitely, I know that at Smart Helio, we are not the financial people. We are very techie. We love equations. We love patterns. But the reality is that our clients need different stakeholders before they can make a due diligence analysis or accept those reports. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Thanks for sharing. What else you would like to know after this now?
Okay, I was already curious to look into the pie chart, but that's okay. See, now I have some idea of what kind of losses that already exist, and I have some idea of the upgrades that it is suggesting. Maybe if I have to acquire a plant, I would like to understand the strategy, right? Because the strategy could be multiple. I add a battery because its power curtailment is happening. Their inverter and module probably tracker issues. Do I need to repower the plant? So I think it will be understand that what strategy would it suggest me if I were to acquire this plant.
I love the question. Like, tell me the best strategy. Like, it's really like talking to some colleague here. I don't know how, And I love this human level of interaction comes where it just feels that I'm talking to some human. But again, it's a machine, yeah. So we should be all careful on that. So I love what you asked. That tell me the best strategy to improve the plant yield. So yes, that's we need. Should we add BS or repower with new tech, or maybe like or combination, yeah. Or both.
Yeah.
Both, yeah. Can I just add that and explain with numbers and ROI? So it's also, I'm seeing the way you framed it, and I can already see that you have been quite mastered on taking right values, that you not only ask the best strategy, but you want to quantify with numbers. And I'm sure that if you just don't put that number word in the prompt, it will give you a strategy without numbers because you never asked for it. So again, I want to go reinforce for the audience here that why the prompting is so important here.
Exactly. And Govinda, funny enough, if I take this question and bring it to our team, and for that matter, to any team, right? It's it's not going to be an easy question, as easy as it looks, because this all these results, and that was my third point, Govinda, that and you have also mentioned it, like all these results, or let's say the data exists, but to collate them, that's a very big challenge.
Yeah. I can see. So did very quickly the battery analysis. To be honest, like I don't know those numbers are right or wrong. So I let you decide. You are the master here. But I can just see that's how easily it's just giving you all. But one thing I know that some of the input values have come from our thing. It's not just taking away from outside because we have closed it.
No, I think the kilowatt hours losses and stuff are definitely coming from this plant, but the cost, like you said, we keep updating the list of the technology and what are the costs in different geographies and stuff. So
Absolutely.
It's pulling the data from there. Excuse me. And when it comes to cost, Govinda, probably that's where I'll be a little more peculiar, and I would like to go back and make sure that for my geography, for my plant, the cost of battery or the cost of replacement, the cost of labor that I'm putting, it's accurate. Because right now when I'm asking for numbers and ROI, it is using those numbers. Yeah. So I think to maintain that accuracy, we need to be sure that these numbers are accurate, what we are feeding.
Great. I just want to know now that
Mhm.
what we did just now, and I just did in like almost 45 seconds, there's all answer. How long it would have taken your team to do it? Or maybe if we are working with a client, like just to get these answers, even if we have all the inputs here.
Yeah. See, a year back, when we had, autopilot, a technical solution, we used to get these questions. Sometimes it will take us 2 weeks or more to not only collate all of data, but different companies would throw different use cases. Oh, can you also show me this? Can you also show me what if I do repowering and battery together? What if I don't do repowering, I only do battery? So they will throw these multiple use cases, and then team has to really build algorithms to get those analysis. Yeah. So I would say for my team, it's just from a few weeks to a few seconds now.
Yeah. No, this is really amazing. Means more and more I see, and myself, I'm seeing the efficiency of the team, internal team has increased so much that they can focus on a lot of other tasks, where these task has been handed over to this AI on this aspect. I'm also curious to know that when we give these things to the client, what happened after that? Like, does the client come back asking all the assumption, or we just give this tool to the client and say that, hey, why don't you play around? Like, what's the dynamic right now at this stage in your team?
See, it's both. To some clients, some very select clients, we have given the access for them to play with it and generate insights they like. But there are also a lot of questions. What are the assumptions? How it is calculating this? What values have been fed? Is it from my plant? When you say the battery costs X, what does that mean? Where it is pulling data? So there's definitely that back and forth, and I believe that that's important. Yeah, if I get certain results, and especially if a machine is talking to me, I would like to make sure that the machine is doing the job right. Yeah, so we do get those questions, and in the near future, I don't see those questions stopping. I think, and people should.
Yeah, I know that. I think a couple of months back, whenever we are working with such a large companies, like generally our clients are really large and very technically sound. Our clients are like, they understand that what we are talking about. That's the beauty, that we learn a lot from them also. They want to understand the methods. They want to understand, how did you get this number? Because there's no standard in the industry yet. Of course, for the basic thing, how to calculate even PR. Like, I was just amazed that just calculating PR,
Yeah.
same company, two different team have two different methods, because that's just satisfied people's need, right? So I think where we struggled, I remember 1 year back, where to explain people, how are we calculating all these things? What are exactly the methods and assumptions and all? And I know that now, with this approach, even clients can ask this AI that tell me that the methods have been used to calculate these things, so that it just saves our time, because
Our time and brings transparency, Govinda. Someone
that's the word I was missing. Thanks. Yeah, exactly.
Someone wants to see how we are calculating degradation, how we are calculating the PR. People can ask, and they can validate it themselves. Trust is extremely important here.
Yeah. No, well, means I think this is a great input. I think we touched a base with you, how it can create efficiency in the team. What could be the constraints also? So you definitely put forward that I really want to make sure that those numbers making sense for me, and then you have a way. And also you mentioned about the transparency. So if I have to club these two, like speed and transparency is really coming together, which the automation should push. Like people like us, we are pushing, but there are all the other colleagues from different software companies, or even colleagues working in our customers' departments. They want to have it, like they want to do faster, but they want to do in a transparent way, because they have to explain to everyone, right? in this.
That's true. Even within a company, when you move to a different department, they have gazillions of questions, and instead of putting human time, if machine can answer, why not?
Yeah, definitely. And I could see that movement very well here. So, Shankraj, if I want to just, we are good with time. I think we did a good job on that. Very Swiss time. If such GPT, we call it solo GPT, it could be any GPT. Even our customers might be making their own GPTs here, using training their LLMs. Just to give you an anecdote, one of our customers, it's a huge customer, not just solar, but it's a big one. Like they are in different things, and they had a problem with just reading manuals of different equipment, different machines and all. And now it has become so easy because it just made their own manual GPT where it just fed all the GP manuals, and then people can type it, hey, this is the machine, this is the number, I want to know, I don't know, this component is failing, why, or what is the specification? It just brings you that section. So there's a lot of useful use cases are coming right now on that. And we at Smart Helio, along with our customers and then interviews conducted, we have identified few use cases where we feel that this can really get started. We are just starting the journey right now. So according to you, have you identified some of the use cases for such GPT tools?
See, I'll tell you, at least for us, where the journey started. Not maybe like 2 years back, we started getting flooded with questions like, hey, I'm using 5 different kind of make and models of inverters across my portfolio. Which one is performing the best in which climatic zone and all of that? And like our principle, we never say no to customers, even things outside of the contract. So we would start crunching those numbers internally. Yeah. And all these numbers were already present. And that's where the use case for us internally came up. Like, why don't we use technology to answer these questions for which we have the data? So that's where it started. And then as our customer knew of what we were doing, a lot of use cases came. Like, what should be my strategy when my plant is underperforming? What should I prioritize? What are the issues that I can let go? It's not going to be a pain for me in next 6 months. So that is definitely one. One thing that we see very frequently is when there's change of ownership. Yeah, the EPC who has built the plant is transferring to another O&M or their internal O&M. So any change of ownership, people, before they take the ownership, they like to know what's happening with the plant, and if the claim made by the person who is transferring is correct or not. Merger and acquisition, of course, that's the use case we discussed today. To my surprise, some of the investors are using this, who are investing into solar PV plants, just so they can get a quick insight into their own portfolio, and they have very, very different set of questions. Right now, the biggest usage is, again, with our SaaS clients who want to use it for reporting. Yeah. As an asset manager, I have spent God knows how many hours just doing simple reporting. Yeah. So for reporting, it's widely used. And instead of us creating different customized templates, now with GPT, we can do that.
That's good. And I think I'm personally very excited. Being a techie, I'm very excited about such potential of such tools, but we need to be very cautious and we have to start somewhere. But we have to make sure that I think we should be open to such new technologies, definitely, and embrace it, considering all the limitations on that. So use case need to be very well defined, where it's really creating an impact. And I love when you say reporting, because reporting is such a big issue. Like every person I have talked, whether it's from technician to the higher level management and all, everyone is talking about reports. Like I don't even know that people are using even softwares. Like how many people are really using software and clicking every day? Like no one. Like they just sometimes rely on the notification on the email came, or just a quick reports. And I do believe in future we will have such tools with just a tool. just a tool, like on their laptop, on their phone, and it's just send me the report of today's performance, send me what to do, send me how the financial things are going on. And I could totally believe that we are going to that era. So again, energy industry is going a little behind, I feel, but we are pushing forward. Yeah, we are going there.
I mean, when we created this tool for the customers, these were the kind of questions that we were expecting. But we also got questions like, who is my most efficient technician? and someone I was talking with, and they were like, look, if I really can get this information, I can have a reward system between my technicians, Yeah. And now, since they have this data, the first thing is like, now their technician knows that the boss knows that I went to the site 2 days later, and I don't know if they did a reward system, but I'm pretty sure that with these insights it's possible.
Just before we go to the almost the end, I remember talking to one partner in a big investment firm, and the partner said that, look, Govinda, I was just asking, what's your problem when you do all these things? And he was saying that, whenever my analyst or all those guys bring reports to me about the plans doing this and this and this, to be honest, I know where the mistake coming from in that report. I just don't have the bandwidth to check it. I have to just close my eyes and trust those reports and move ahead because I have too many things happening on my life, actually. So I believe this tool will all create so much of transparency that, okay, if I just play around with some variables, like what's going on with that? And it also makes sense that as a human being, we can make mistake. It's fine, But the idea is that can we have a checks and balances using such tools, and it will just create so much of efficiency and transparency on that. Great. So we are almost there. Now let's have a poll time. So according to you, what is your use cases at this stage for the LLM? So let's go ahead. What do you find that where it can really help you? Let's wait. Yes, poll is running. Colleagues are already.
How much time do we have? Because I see the chat flooded with questions.
We are coming. We are coming. I know Maxine will just show up now. I don't know when, but let's see. She's counting it. She's just there. Okay. Let's wait for a few more people, few more seconds on this. And I can see, great. Let me end it now. Okay. And we are sharing the results. Oh my God, clearly finding underperformance in the plant showed up quite a bit. And then we have quite a balanced one, but also optimizing plant performance and efficiency. Definitely this is one of the cases we also keep hearing from our clients, and portfolio valuation. That's also quite big here. Good. Thanks a lot for this. Let's go. So now it's a Q&A time. Maxine is back, so I'm sure she's gonna ask some questions. So Maxine.
Perfect. Well, thanks a lot, Govinda and Shankaransh. I think it was a very insightful session, and I really hope that the guests have enjoyed this webinar as much as I did. Now it's the time for questions and answers. We have received lots of questions also in the chat. We tried also to address some of them live, but I also noted down some questions which were coming up really often. So the first one is, how does Smart Helio Autopilot differentiate itself from a customer assistant in OpenAI?
Let me answer this one. So again, we need to differentiate here. So OpenAI, it means that they have their own LLM, or there's a ChatGPT, and it will go to the global cloud and it will take the information from there. When I had explained that how we have configured or engineered our LLM, it remains within the Smart Helio ecosystem. So the context, we remember like we had this domain knowledge extractor. That's where it differentiates. It's really focused on solar, and it doesn't give or take data from the outside. We have limited that. So it's about, let's say, engineering, or we have fine-tuned or trained, whatever word we want to use, just for the solar specific based on our knowledge.
Great. Thank you, Govinda. So the next question is, what are the limitations from such LLM models?
So let me answer this one again. I think you can ask anything to OpenAI, like you can ask anything to ChatGPT. It will always give some answers, and so confidently you're like, oh damn, like I just don't know, this AI knows better, because the way it comes explanation there, right? What we need to be sure that it cannot conduct complex operations yet. If you want 2 + 2 = 4, it will give you. But if you start putting differential patterns and all those things, it's hard. It will start something called bad results, and in let's say LLM model we call hallucination. So what is important here, that you still have to run a scientific engine. So in our case, we run Smart Helio engine to really put all the scientific and pattern recognition, our own models and AI to generate those results. So whatever you saw right now in demonstration, we already have the results. So it has to be done. And then this model will go and query the results in these databases and make some correlations on that one. That's it. That's the job it's doing. So it's just a smart SQL query, if I have to really brutally put it that. And we are confident on that part because it does stick to the results what we have in our databases. And if you want LLM to start calculating something more scientific, and you know that you need some kind of smart data guy to do the calculation, that's where you can't trust it. And we have tried as much as possible. I really want to replace all the data scientists in our team. I just can't. I just can't. We still need them.
Great. Now we have received like a couple of common questions, so let me try to club them. So basically, we are being asked whether the Smart Helio Solar GPT is available for all, and whether it's available for all clouds. Shankaran, if you would like to take this question.
Yes, I can. So right now it's available to only limited clients. Yeah, we have not made it I don't know, very, very public yet. So it's available with our limited clients. Some of the important clients who are trying to work with us, they are using it. I believe now we are at a stage where the engineering is solid enough, and we have confidence that yes, it's going to give the right answer. Yeah. So yeah, I think we are very close to just giving it to anyone who needs it.
Perfect. Thank you, Shankaransh. Now I think we have time maybe like for 2 more questions. So one that we have is actually about the climate. So someone is wondering, how do we add climate scenarios? Is it our own model, or does AI make the calculation?
Yeah, let me answer this one. So again, climatic model is very heavy duty model. Like, of course, OpenAI or these LLMs, they run a lot of heavy models. But this climatic model is very different ball game. So as I said in my previous question, that you can't rely using these LLMs to do climate yet. At least we don't. So we have our own climate engine. We do ourselves. It's a completely separate offering than Autopilot actually, where we have 100+ variables come in. We have a proper team just running climatic models on different locations, and we get the data of that location. And that data with different scenarios, we have some RCP scenarios, but let's say when climate is 1.5 degrees, what happened? When it is 2 degrees Celsius, what happened? 3 for every coordinates. And this is fed into our database. Now, when we ask about to our LLM that, hey, please tell me based on climate scenarios, what will be my performance that you saw on the prompt already when Shankransh asked. It actually went to the databases and start looking for that coordinate and start looking more relevant values on this side. So we have our own climatic model right now. But of course, again, it's access to databases. People can put their own data on that, and then this LLM will start extracting those data.
Thank you, Govinda. So now the next question, I'm again going to combine two. So the audience is also wondering, is the data only used for the particular client's use only, or do you also use the data to train the model for all the clients? Now, the next question is also a bit on the same topic. And can this data be used to tune model inputs to run look-forward model?
Okay, so yes, we have. So again, there's no training happening here. So the LLM is not trained, is being engineered and fine-tuned. So that's remember. So there's no data is training those models. What happened that already calculations have been made by the engine, it's been stored in the database. What we are just telling our LLM, hey, when you have a PR, it's not a PR of public relation, it's a PR of performance ratio of a solar plant. That's called fine-tuning. So again, none of the client data is getting trained to LLM. So for sure, it's not happening. So that one question is not there. Yes, what we do is, it's again, I want to use re-engineering or engineering side, that when a prompt goes bad. So for example, prompt said that we have a, I don't know, battery price as 0.2 dollars per watt hour, whatever that value is, and start taking 10, 15, 16, I don't know, somehow it got hallucinated. That's where we'll go back and we'll see that result doesn't make sense. We have to re-engineer and tell that you can't go beyond that. Just doesn't make sense. For example, it cannot tell PR more than 1. If it is saying that, oh, I'm getting PR more than 1 or 100%, prompt us. That's something wrong in databases. So again, just to shorten the answer, that there's no training happening here. It is all about good engineering prompt, but having good results already using some scientific models. In our case, we run physics-based model or some kind of smart algorithms.
Great. So thank you very much for all of your questions. It's glad to see also your interest in such topic. So I'm sorry, we don't have enough time to address all of the questions. Oh, Shankaransh, please go ahead.
Maxine, just please note that apart from our Q&A section, there are a lot of questions in the webinar chat. Maybe we can take those questions and then reply it after the webinar.
Yes. Definitely. Thanks a lot for the note, Shankaransh. So, and thank you everyone for joining this webinar. We really hope that you find it interesting. Please, we would be pleased to hear your feedback. Is there anything that you can improve? Do you have any suggestions? And how do you see such LLM models to help you specifically? In case that we are not able to address all of your questions, you also have one question section within the feedback form. And if at the end of this webinar, you believe that this is too good to be true, well, we invite you to see it by yourself. So please feel free to book a demo directly with us online, or we will also be at RE Plus next week. So you can also pass by our booth and we'll be happy to share more details. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.